Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. College football's early national signing period opened on Wednesday. Ohio State signed 25 recruits for the sixth highest ranked class of 2026, according to 24/7 Sports. USC's got the nation's top class. Trojans flipped four-star receiver Caden Dixon-Wyatt from Ohio State yesterday. USC's reportedly out on five-star OSU commit Chris Henry Jr., but the top wide receiver in the class has yet to officially sign his letter of intent. Reports have the Oregon Ducks making a last-minute push, as well as the departure of Brian Hartline, who will take the South Florida head coach job after the Buckeyes complete their postseason run. Number one, Ohio State's a 4-point favorite Saturday night in the Big Ten Championship. They'll battle number 2, Indiana, for an 8 o'clock kick from Lucas Oil Stadium. Hear more from OSU's head coach today at noon on the Ryan Day Radio Show. And Kirill Marchenko is back on the ice for the Blue Jackets. They'll host the Red Wings at 7:30. This update is sponsored by Whiskey War by High Bank Distillery. Drink local, drink High Bank.
Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
I'm talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy Austin Ward. My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then
it's a rundown.
And then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only 2 guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a Thursday edition of the program. Bo and the boys with you for the next 3. As always, Reese is here. Rhyme Time is here in for Bake. Always good to see Rhyme Time here, especially on a Thursday edition. We're loaded up. We got your emails coming in at 10 o'clock. Coming up at 10:30, Paul Finebaum. Lots to get to there. 11 o'clock, we will beat the house with the NFL. Reese, I think you were even, Steven. I was a game under even. So hopefully you can do a little bit better as we attempt to beat the house coming up at 11 o'clock. And then a little bit of Shelley time coming up at 11:30. How the times have changed. You heard the handsome update anchor there go through the National Signing Day stuff from yesterday. And it just kind of popped up. I'll be very candid with you. As we started the show yesterday, it was probably about 45 minutes before we started that it hit me that it was National Signing Day. This used to be a holiday for me. This was Christmas in February. I loved it. I would pour over all of it. And it was something that you couldn't wait to see. They were all the hat dance, all this stuff. You got to remember, this was before the early entry stuff. It was before any of that. It was on this day you sign on the line which is dotted and you chase those fax machines until you get them in your hand and then you're good. And I've told stories before of high school football players I covered in the South. There was one who was trying to sign at Oregon, and his mom would not sign on the line, which is dotted. So she grabbed the NIL or the letter of intent and ran out of the auditorium. The mom in front of it, like media's there, hundreds of people. She ran out and would not sign on the line and wouldn't let him sign to go to Oregon. Eventually, cooler heads prevailed, and he did end up going to Oregon. And she, of course, wanted him to stay home at Florida State. But there's those stories. Hell, we had one of those yesterday with Ohio State with this Legend Bay kid. Great name, by the way, but originally a Tennessee commit. Then he's an Ohio State commit. Shows up to his signing day yesterday wearing Ohio State garb, ready to sign and be a Buckeye. And according to the reporting, mom won't sign the letter of intent. And he's not 18, so she has to. And so inevitably he ends up signing with Tennessee because, you got to have a happy house too. So there's that part of it. And who knows what's going on behind the scenes that led to that end, right? So while so many things have changed, the chaos around it remains the same. But there are some remarkable changes that happened yesterday. And I think it speaks to how various programs are going to try to build in this modern edition of college football. For the first time since 2008, a non-SEC team won the recruiting title. It was USC. USC won the recruiting title. Oregon was second. Notre Dame was third. Not a single SEC team in the top 3. Now, Ohio State, as far as recruiting goes, is an SEC team. I mean, that's how they recruit. They recruit like Bama and Georgia. The next 3 are Georgia, Bama, and Ohio State. So they're right there. They're 4 through 6, but 1 through 3 is USC, Oregon, and Notre Dame. There is a shift that has happened in large part because of name, image, and likeness, in large part because who is motivated to put cash on the table for these kids to get them to sign on the line, which is dotted. And what you saw yesterday was an incredibly motivated USC booster system that got organized. They got organized. And they said, you know what? We paid all this money for Lincoln Riley. The least we can do is put him in the best position to succeed. Is USC a team that we're going to see at the top of this for the next 4 or 5 years? Who knows? I do know that that's probably a big reason why Lincoln Riley went there, in addition to the fact he didn't want to compete in the SEC at Oklahoma. It's a reason that most people, when you do top 5, top 10 jobs in the country, put USC on it, because there is an appeal and you know that you can recruit there. Oregon's not going anywhere. As long as Phil Knight's alive, Oregon's going to spend. In fact, Oregon had the second highest overall player rating behind only Alabama at 93.29. They finished with the number 2 class in the country, and as Reese mentioned in the update, still trying to poach Chris Henry Jr. from Ohio State. So as long as Phil Knight's around, they're going to go. I think one of the most remarkable stories of signing day yesterday came from South Bend, where Notre Dame finished with the number 3 class and did not have a single player decommit. So Marcus Freeman is making connections with players that you have to pay attention to. And they are organized in terms of their NIL. They are ready to pay, and they are locked in on it. It's beyond that, though. The top 3 players in the country, all quarterbacks, according to the 24/7 composite, went to Houston, Tennessee, and Vanderbilt. We've never had this happen before. These are quarterbacks, not D linemen that we overpay like Tennessee did a couple years ago. No. This is quarterback play. Houston, Tennessee, Vanderbilt. The kid that ended up going to Vanderbilt, Jared Curtis, I think was his name, originally was going to Georgia. Okay, that makes sense. Flips last minute to Vanderbilt. By the way, this is now 2 straight classes where Georgia had the number 1 quarterback in the country, and he flipped. Last year they lost the kid to Colorado. So it's 2 years in a row that's happened to the Dogs. This doesn't happen to the Dogs 5 years ago. It happens now. And if you're looking for how did we get here, college basketball was actually here a decade ago. Ben Simmons is the first one that comes to my mind. I remember Cade Cunningham too. Ben Simmons was the number 1 player in the country. He went to LSU. In those days, what it was hire my AAU coach, hire my uncle, hire my dad, put him on your staff, somebody close to me, and that was the workaround for NIL. College football just caught up. They just caught up. And this is the world that we're going to occupy, I think, for the foreseeable future, where unless it's a case like Oregon and Notre Dame, where I think it's very, very sustainable, I think a lot of these places it's going to be push all your chips in a specific recruiting class, hope like hell it works, and then will you come back the next year? That's the challenge in all of this. But the times have changed. They aren't changing. They've changed. This is different than what it's been for the last quarter century in terms of how to acquire and how to get kids signed.
I think with what USC did yesterday, it's commendable, but it's also, I think, something you're going to see as a cautionary tale. So the Trojans, of their 35 commits,
it's an unbelievable number.
That's compared to 21 by Oregon. 1 5-star for the Trojans, 4 5-stars for the Ducks. The average ranking or the average grade of their recruits is 91.80. Oregon's is 93.29. Ohio State's 91.83. Mm-hmm. And as you mentioned with the transfer portal, I'm really curious to see in 2 years how many of those recruits in USC's top-ranked recruiting class are actually still with the Trojans. Because it doesn't reek like Texas A&M's did a couple years ago, but it's starting to smell like it a little bit.
You think about that A&M, right? I mean, that's
best
the first
recruiting
thing
class maybe ever.
That's what comes. Yeah, but it was loaded with defensive linemen. That was one of those ones where Jimbo wanted that recruiting championship. He saw the value in that, and they got organized and they got it locked in. But they had 5, 6, 7 defensive linemen, all 4 and 5 stars in this. Rhyme time, you live in the college basketball world. This is This is something that has been happening there for a decade.
Yeah, I was just looking at some past rankings just to find some other notable ones, and I remember Michael Porter Jr. was a top guy, went to Missouri.
There you go.
Anthony Edwards went to Georgia, and he had his coming out moment in the Maui when he went for, I think, like 37 against Michigan State.
Yeah.
But still, it's been happening in college basketball for a while, and it was the strangest thing because you would be like, these are kind of guys that you would expect at a Duke, a Kentucky, a Carolina, something like that, and they're ending up at these football schools playing basketball, though.
Yeah. Yeah, and like Anthony Edwards never even played an NCAA. Didn't they have a losing record at Georgia?
Yeah, they were not good.
They were terrible.
Is that Tom Crean?
I
I think so.
think it was.
Yes, it was.
I think Crean was all locked in, and they were going to, let's get some money and make this work. And so it's been happening. It doesn't necessarily breed success, which gets us to what I want to get into next, and that is, if you are Ohio State, how do you maintain what you've built? What is the right path? I know they have the right guy on the planet to do it in Mark Pantoni and Ryan Day atop, but how do you build it? What's the mix? We already saw a philosophical change this year in their recruiting class, and I think there's probably more of that to come. We'll get into that coming up next. We're off and running on a Thursday. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
Timmy Hall here, proud to be back for my 4th year supporting Nationwide Children's Hospital and Light Up the Lawn, Light Up a Life. The holidays can be tough for kids and families spending it in the hospital. So now through December 31st, more than 100 giant illuminated butterflies will shine on the hospital lawn, each one sparkling to life with every single donation. When patients see those butterflies glow, they'll know their community's thinking of them, sending waves of hope and joy. So let's do this together. Let's light up the lawn and light up a life. Donate now at nationwidechildrens.org/give.
With business banking, Tel Ohio Credit Union takes it personally. That's why they are the #1 SBA lender among Ohio credit unions. You are a member, not a number. That's the Tel Ohio difference. Visit telhio.org/business.
Certain restrictions apply. Tel Ohio is open to all in Central and Southwestern Ohio. Federally insured by NCUA.
They say glory is earned, not given. We say it's ignited by heart and ends with a boom. Fire the cannon again! Get your tickets today at BlueJackets.com.
All the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
The water's standing in the tub. My toilets will not flush. The smell's getting bad in here. I need help in a rush.
Clogged drain, no problem. It's 93 or free. I'll clear any drain or you don't pay with a 1-year guarantee.
It's 93 or free. Guaranteed.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
Bet365 is paying out before the final whistle.
Check out Bet365's unrivaled early payout offer. When you bet on the team to win and they take a 17-point lead, you get paid no matter the final score. Forget the final whistle and start counting that cash. Hold up. You get early payout on parlays, too.
Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. The year is fast coming to an end, and maybe you have been putting off doing something you needed to do for a long time, like replace your windows. Well, it's too expensive. I'm not sure about the cost. I have got a solution for you, and you can get this done before the new year. Take advantage of Window Nation's end-of-year sale right now. They've got 50% off all window styles, plus you could get 0% interest financing for 5 years. And we always talk about the cost efficiency of these windows. They will keep your home warmer in the cold months, cooler in the warm months, because they keep the energy you're putting into your house inside your house. But you know what? They also look great. They've got so many styles that'll help beautify your home and protect it from the harsh elements. So check out Window Nation today. Schedule a fast free estimate now at windownation.com. I trust Window Nation because they get an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. They do a 50-point inspection of every window before it leaves the factory. And oh, by the way, they're a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. I like that too. Schedule your estimate today. windownation.com.
Hello
It's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Men, it's the holidays, the season of all kinds of hustle and bustle. But if your energy is down, if you aren't sleeping well, if your sex drive is MIA, and you just don't feel like the guy you once were, maybe it's tough to get excited for all the holiday cheer. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if this sounds like you may have low testosterone. And if so, this is the season for you to get treated. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're experts in treating low T. If you're like most guys, you'll feel the change in just a few weeks. And truly, the results can be life-changing. You'll have improved mental clarity, your energy will kick up, your workouts will be better, your sleep patterns will improve, and your sex drive will likely heat up as well. So call us, and don't go through another season with low T. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. That's tristatemenshealth.com. We have 2 convenient locations in the area to serve you, in Hilliard and Westerville.
The Jackets are back at Nationwide for a battle with the Red Wings. Live fan coverage starts Thursday night at 7.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating and Cooling.
Proud to be your flagship home of the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Fan. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
A few light flurries around this morning, so watch out for slick spots. Other than that, a cold but clearing day. Temperatures will be in the upper 20s near 30 for the first half of the day, falling as we head into the evening. 10 TV Weather Impact Alert Day early Friday as the potential for single-digit morning lows comes back to the region. That's your latest 10 Weather Impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, The Fan, Ohio sports destination. First Friday miracles are always better with Uncle Bo. This is Bishop and Friends.
Indeed it is, and for the first time since 2020, the Buckeyes are back in the Big Ten Championship game. The Fan has you covered. 11 hours of pregame coverage on Saturday. My goodness, 9 to noon. Fan Sports Saturday with Timmy and Tyvus, noon to 2:30. Fan Sports Saturday with Reese and Tito, then 2:30 to 4:30. The KeyBank Fan pregame show with Matty Ice, DeVere, and Dane, then 4:30 to 6:30. Central Ohio Toyota Dealers Fan tailgate show with AR and Tim and Bids, 6:30 to 8. The Ohio State Sports Network pregame show with Skip, Paul, Jim, and Tyler. 11 hours, one goal. Get you ready for the Big Ten Championship game only on the home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. Is Tim May going to do that show live and then drive to Indy?
He's done it before.
He did that the last couple of times, right? He did that at Purdue and he did it at Michigan?
Correct.
So it's 3, right?
West Lafayette was probably...
Or is it 2 to Indy?
I want to say it's 2. I mean, but if you're Leadfoot Tim May, probably...
I cannot believe he made it there before halftime on Saturday with the snow and everything. Yeah, the Michigan game.
That was nuts. What a human to make that decision to drive up there and get there before halftime. Unbelievable. All right, so National Signing Day in the books. We're still waiting on a couple of guys. Chris Henry is at the kind of the center of all of this. He has been, his timeline's crazy. So he has been committed to Ohio State since 2023, since June of 2023. July of 23, actually. Late July 2023, he's been committed. He was committed to Ohio State before he even got an Oregon offer. just for some perspective on that. He got an Oregon offer, didn't come until early January of 2024. All of the offers started to come in from there. He's a 5-star kid. You got Jeremiah Smith saying, man, get over here. We need you. All of the reporting suggests that he's still hard commit to Ohio State, but I think the Heartline thing maybe changed things, and I think that opens up Oregon to start throwing some cash at him if that's something he's interested in. The last time that he visited the Oregon campus was November of 2024 for an unofficial visit. So he didn't even ever take an official visit anywhere other than Ohio State. He took one to Ohio State. He took it here last summer, and that's it. That's the list. He was here for the spring game as well. So Ohio State's kind of waiting on him a little bit. He would, and there's another one out there. I think another wide receiver's in the mix as well for Ohio State. Jaquardin Gulliford, a 6'2", 190-pound 4-star receiver out of Fort Wayne. He is committed but not yet signed as well. So you're still kind of waiting on those things. How you put together a team now is fascinating. Ohio State certainly relied more on the state of Ohio than they have in recent years, and those numbers are reflected in the class. But it's really a bigger question of how are you going to build a roster going forward? The man in charge of that is Mark Pantoni. He is the ambassador of cool up there. He was available yesterday. I want to hear a couple of things with him, but let's start with the Chris Henry Jr. question. I'm guessing he's not going to be able to elaborate much on this, but here's Mark on that.
Chris Henry was a guy that was rumored to be considering flipping, and then obviously Brian leaves this morning. How hard was it to keep him in the fold, and what kind of an addition is he to that class?
So I can only talk about guys who have signed right now.
He hasn't officially signed then? Okay.
So, and he still hasn't officially signed. That was interesting, too, and that's Bill Rabinowitz on the question. That's not necessarily Bill's fault because there was some ambiguity about that he had. I think CBS Sports was doing a live recruiting show and said he's signed and away we go. Because I remember we talked about it yesterday on our show, Reese.
Yeah, he had, when they did the press conference at Mater Day, he had a placard in front of him that said Chris Henry Jr., and it had the Mater Day logo and it had the Ohio State Block O. And so there was no cap putting on. There was no throwing another cap in the trash, which is unfortunate. Yeah. I think you should always take advantage to throw somebody else's hat in the trash if you can.
Yeah.
And it was like implied almost. Yeah. And then I think when they finally asked him to his face, and there just wasn't a facts. So if you don't get the facts, you don't have the kid.
No, you don't have him officially. He's still committed, and so you have to kind of act on that. You do wonder what the Heartline news yesterday had to do with that, or if it helped, if it hurt. It couldn't have helped, I don't especially think, but I don't know if it's necessarily a deal breaker. Mark was asked about Brian taking the USF job, which happened yesterday morning on the day of national signing.
He deserves it. He's done a tremendous job here, as everybody knows. Not only recruiting, coaching up these guys, developing, and now as the offensive coordinator this season, having one of the top offenses in the country. He's done a tremendous job, so we're all very happy for him. I think we would all agree right now that Coach Day probably has about 50 missed phone calls from every wide receivers coach in the country who would love to come join here. So it's obviously very appealing. Obviously, Coach Day's going to go out and get the best person possible, but Hart set the standard now, so who's ever going to replace him he got big shoes to fill.
And Mark's probably the one guy that I'd like to talk to about a more sensible college football calendar. I've laid out my plan really for the last 4 or 5 years. Others are starting to come on board about it. He was asked about a more sensible college football calendar. Here's what he had to say.
Can there be a common sense schedule calendar?
There can, yes.
What does that look like? How far away is signing day? How far away is the portal? What would that look like?
Yeah, I'm not going to go with the specifics right now. I think it's a broader question where we have to get all the right people in the room and put our brains together. I mean, there's a lot of smart people that work in football that can have a greater voice, I think, and try to get some of these issues fixed.
I can fix it for you, bud. I can do it. Let me help. I can fix it like that. It's easy.
It does feel like it's got to be.
The only negative is you're not going to have guys on campus in January. That's it. Go ahead, Reese.
It's got to be Ryan Day kind of lead the charge on it because of the voices in college football, his might be the most influential, at least as of right now. Nobody's listening to Sharon Moore. I don't know if Marcus's carries as much weight anymore. Kirby Smart maybe, but it looks like maybe Ryan, Steve, and Kirby would have to get into the room and kind of figure it out from there, or at least figure out who they're putting pressure on. And then I think you start making real progress with that. But until the biggest names in the sport actually coaching-wise, you're still just going to have all of this.
I think you have a real problem when Rick Pitino is out here tweeting about the college football schedule, and he's complaining about, like, oh, yeah, it can be this way for college basketball, but what is it like this for football? That doesn't make any sense.
Can you imagine if the week of the first round of the NCAA tournament, not the Dayton games, the actual first round, if on the week of that was also the portal open, National Signing Day? And you just leave.
Just chaos. That would be absolutely crazy.
That's what college football is trying to deal with. Yesterday, Ryan Day is trying to coach a team to win its first Big Ten championship since 2020. In the morning, he found out his offensive coordinator is going to USF. He's trying to finish a recruiting class that includes probably being on the phone with Chris Henry Jr., convincing him to stay, getting Jeremiah Smith to tweet him saying, we need you. All of that has happened. That's one day. It's one day. Ryan was asked about National Signing Day, the postseason, the coaching changes. Here's how he navigated it.
Coach Meyer, Coach Tressel said this to me, when I took the job. This job is bigger than any one person. And so Ohio State's been good for a long time, will continue to be good moving forward. So, while there always will be these situations, for whatever reason, good or bad, we all aim for them to be good, that when we're doing well, people have opportunities. And that's part of it. And I think, these recruits understand that. So when they come in, the relationships matter, but they also want to see the stability of a program, that when they send their sons somewhere, they're going to be surrounded with the best. And that's my job. So my job is to surround these players with the best there possibly can be. And you've heard me say this before. I mean, if you are an O-line coach, it should be O-line you. If you're a linebacker coach, it should be a linebacker you. And it's my job as the head coach to make sure that we're hiring guys and bringing guys in here to be the best.
We were so close to him saying, and it's my job to make sure we're NFL you. We're so close. I mean, we put that on a T-shirt like 5 years ago. We were so close. And it's my job to make sure we're NFL you. It was right there for him. I thought maybe he was going to tee up and say it. I think he's in a situation like where he's just trying to put one foot in front of the other. Just, what's the next task? Let me do it. What's the next task? Let me do it. He's not sleeping. He's not eating. He's doing the best he can. I'm sure he sneaks over to the Tucker Center and he hits some tennis balls that to try to take his mind off it. But I'm guessing that's what his day yesterday was like, with just one foot in front of the other and try to get through it. And then there's still stuff that isn't completely sorted, like what's going on with Chris Henry Jr. And I do think they do need him. I think they do. They're going to lose Carnell Tate, and I don't know if he can come in and have that type of impact. He's not going to have like a Jeremiah impact, but they do need another weapon in that group. And so there is need for him there. The Buckeyes swept the Big Ten awards. We'll get to that. By the way, speaking of the Big Ten, we're playing a number 1 versus number 2 on Saturday. We'll get into that in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Things are going to be busy between now and the end of the year. You got holiday gatherings, school functions for the kids, families are getting together. I know. Hey, it's Timmy Hall, and the last thing you want to worry about this holiday season is whether your roof is going to make it through another Ohio winter. One call to Victor's Home Solutions, my guys, to schedule that free 21-point roof inspection will put your mind at ease, and you want to have a peaceful mind. A highly trained roof inspector will carefully examine every inch of that roof, checking the 21 most common areas of roofing failure. Then they go over their results with you and discuss your options going forward. Most of the time, problems can be fixed with a minor repair, but if it's time for a new roof, Victor's offers money-saving discounts and financing terms to make paying easy. And don't forget, they're so confident in their skilled installers, they offer a 50-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install. So call or go online and schedule the free 21-point roof inspection today. 866-VICTORS or online at victors.com.
I love a good Hollywood casino party. Scotty Vegas here, and there are so many reasons to party on Sunday, December 7th with us. Watch the college football playoff bracket. Come out with us at noon. Watch the Browns, Bengals, and Steelers games all at 1 o'clock with us. Then parlay the great food, huge screens, and best big-time prizes at the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. You're watching. We're watching. Let's watch together. Sunday, December 7th at Hollywood Casino. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
McDonald's is putting value back on the menu. Whether you're craving a Big Mac, McNuggets, or sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles, make it a meal and save. Your favorite is now your wallet's favorite too. Extra value meals are back.
Now get a sausage McMuffin with egg extra value meal, complete with hash browns and a small coffee for just $5. Only at McDonald's for a limited time. Price and participation may vary. Single item at regular price excludes tax.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
What's up?
What's up, man? Soap and shoe.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, here's what's up on a Thursday. We are a little more than 48 hours away from a Big Ten championship game that will feature the number 1 team in the country versus the number 2 team in the country. I do think that with the exception of potentially the Big 12 title game, this is one where both participants really want to participate in it. Indiana is chasing some history. First time since 1967 if they can beat the Buckeyes. I have to imagine this is the biggest game in the history of Indiana football. I have to think that it is, right? I mean, maybe at South Bend last year, but I think it's probably this one. I mean, this is real hardware that you're going to beat the number 1 defending national champions in your home state, in the biggest city in your state. If you pull it off, it's got to be the biggest game in the history of Indiana football. And then from the Ohio State side of it, what is at stake? Well, what's at stake is the 1 seed, which matters. What's at stake is hardware for a Big Ten championship, which hasn't happened since 2020. And I'm hearing from a lot of Buckeye fans, and including a couple of booster guys I know, who are not that interested in this game. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, don't play Jeremiah, this type of stuff. I don't think so. I think you don't play again until New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. My hunch is Ohio State will play New Year's Day. I think there's value in that. You're not going to play again for 3 weeks. You got plenty of time to get healthy. You got plenty of time to get right. And at stake is the number 1 overall seed, which is an easier path now. I mean, it's not last year. It was not the case. It was different because they had to do the buys to the top conference champions. That's out now. So being the 1 seed is going to give you a more advantageous route through the college football playoff. It's going to assure you a bye. Now, I've said that I think both of these teams are going to get buys almost regardless, unless Indiana got bombed. I think that's the only scenario where they wouldn't be. And even then, I think Indiana would be the 4 seed. So to me, that bye and that hardware is worth it, let alone the Heisman. I mean, that's potentially could be at stake too by the time we get to all of it. There's a lot going on here. Julian saying is the guy obviously in the mix for the Heisman. I think Jeremiah could still be in there too. I think this award is pretty wide open. Julian was available yesterday and was asked about the Heisman and his candidacy.
No, not really focused on outside noise. We have a job to do and we have a goal to go win the Big Ten. So we're going to focus on that as a team.
Where do you guys come down on the value of this game for Ohio State?
Huge. I think this is a game that everybody that's associated with Ohio State should want to win, should want to put their best foot out there. Now, if you sold me on like a pitch count for, say, Jeremiah's upper lower body injury flared back up, okay, maybe a pitch count. But I think if everybody's as healthy as possible, and I think they all want to go out and play this game, because it does favor Ohio State's offense on a warm stadium, open track. And for Indiana, this is the biggest game that they've ever had in their football program's history, and probably one of the biggest Indiana Hoosier athletic events of all time.
I think we've been hearing it all off season long, and even during the season, of Ohio State's main goals this year was 1, beat Michigan. They crossed that off. Now they want to win a Big Ten championship because they haven't done so since 2020. And now they have an opportunity to do that and still chase that perfect season. So I think that's like you were mentioning, Bo, there's a lot on it. And this is one of those goals that they're trying to cross off.
Yeah, you want to build momentum off that Michigan game.
Yeah.
And I think you want to it's all about sending a message too. Like this is a chance for everybody included, to make sure that the entire country's put on notice. Because even if Indiana or whoever, if Indiana goes out there and gets bombed, who are they getting bombed by? Same team that bombed everybody last year in the college football playoff.
And apparently Ohio State hasn't been tested.
Two things, a couple of things. I just pulled up the Saturday slate. A couple of things jump out to me. Number one, the get-in price. You want to talk about how important this is to the Hoosier and Buckeye Nation? The get-in price is $624 on the secondary market. That's the get-in. The next highest, hardest ticket on Championship Saturday is the SEC title game between Georgia and Bama. That is $229. But you're at $624 to get in the door. So if Buckeye fan is fatigued, rest assured Hoosier fan is not. So this might be the rare instance, might be the only instance and the only circumstance where Ohio State isn't the home team in a Big Ten championship game. Anytime that we've ever gone over there, we overwhelm the attendance. I'm not sure what this will be. This might be one of those rare instances where you're a road team and it actually feels like a road team. Obviously, the Buckeyes will be well represented, but that tells me that Indiana is jacked up to play in this game. I think it's probably the biggest sporting event. Indiana played for a national title in hoops. Early Jared Jeffries in the early 2000s. I think they lost to Maryland with Juan Dixon. Do I have that right?
Yeah.
And Steve Blake. But that team wasn't. I mean, I think they upset Kansas maybe in the Final Four to get there. Maybe Maryland beat Kansas. I can't remember. But I feel like they played in the national championship. 86, they won it. Or was it 87 they won it with Alford? But it's been that long since they've had anything like this. So, I think it's probably on that level from the Hoosiers' perspective. The other thing that jumps out to me, and if you don't take Indiana seriously, and I think a lot of the reason people don't, and we've talked about this, is the brand. People see that brand and they just don't believe it. If this was number one versus number two, and instead of that, the IU logo, which is a great logo, the IU interlocking, if it wasn't that, and instead it was Oregon or it was Penn State or, God forbid, Michigan, I think then you would have all of it. But I just think people don't take Indiana seriously. But I'm going to give you a number that should tell you that you should. The line for this game opened at 5.5. It's now 4. And I would probably argue that there's not another team in the country that Ohio State would be matched up on a neutral field where the line would be less than that. Maybe Georgia would be 3. Maybe. My hunch is Oregon would be right around here, 4.5. Alabama would be more than that because Georgia's favored over Bama by 2.5. So Bama would be more than that. A&M would be more than that. Notre Dame might be around 4.5. But that's probably the smallest number that you would get in all of college football. So while some of you might not respect Indiana, the folks in the desert do. And the money is coming in. And that number has been bet down 1.5 this week. That's noteworthy.
And I think it's, along with Vegas, the College Football Playoff Committee, who has had them ranked number 2 behind Ohio State the entire time they've been doing rankings this season. Like, Indiana nationally is second in points per game on offense and second in points per game on defense. Like, this is as balanced of a team as Ohio State will play. I think it's Indiana and Texas Tech, the two I would say is the biggest challenges for Ohio State because they're both so balanced. But I also think then the theme that Ryan Day's been, saying since they won the national championship was this needs to be about us.
Yeah.
And so I think when you look at Ohio State and everything that they present, you look at a 4-point spread and you go, yeah, I feel pretty comfortable taking that.
A couple of guys weighing in on social. The great Wolfman Matt, I've attended this game many times for as low as $90 a pop. He just pulled up the secondary market tickets from $7.71. Paul says, where can you find tickets for under $7.95? On ESPN right now, they're saying $6 something, but maybe it's even more than that. Maybe it is more than that in terms of just to get in the door when you actually go through all of the things to be able to do it. So, and to your point, this is the other thing about Indiana. Very good chance the quarterback of the Hoosiers goes number 1 overall. Dane Brugler put out a mock yesterday that had him going number 1 overall to the Browns.
Does this game have more NFL talent in it than any other game played this season? It's on a short list.
Yeah.
It's on a short list. I think it's probably
NFL prospects.
I think the Mendoza part, the fact that if he goes number 1, I think that might give it to you. But I think probably overall, probably still Ohio State, Texas. Texas has got a ton of NFL talent.
Did you put Georgia there
though?
too?
Sure. But
maybe
it's on a short list. And I think
it's on a short list,
there's so many different factors that make it that kind of a ticket And I think everything we're saying gives more to this does mean something. This is an important game. So I just want to push back in the biggest way that this game doesn't mean anything, because I disagree.
I heard it from like diehard Buckeye fans who don't ever miss games, and just talking to one yesterday who's like, yeah, I'm not going. I don't care. Okay. All right.
If you're not going, you're missing out.
Yeah, I think it's gonna have a lot of juice to it, and I think winning that championship is going to mean a lot. And if you go back to July, and Rhyme, you're right. They talked about it a lot. We talked about it, Reese. We were there in July and said we didn't talk about winning a national title. You just won one. You're not entitled to that every single year. We said beat Michigan, win the Big Ten. You haven't done it in a while.
And this game, the winning team gets to stand up there, hold up that Big Ten championship trophy, and actually gets to enjoy it for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't really get a chance to do that throughout the college football playoff last season because it was on to the next thing. And the national championship, yes, you got to enjoy for Ohio State, but then it quickly came to Texas, and you still had Michigan in the back of your head. This doesn't have any of that.
You had to turn and try to fill a roster for next year. Like Ryan Day was like, yeah, there's no rest, really. I can celebrate this for maybe a couple days, but transfer portal's open. I got to get active.
Do you think, I wonder if the Rose Bowl's on the line here, too?
Probably.
Would Indiana go there? Or do you think they would want something closer to them?
So what are the options, guys? I'll tell you what. We'll get the options on what could be at stake and the path that Ohio State would want. I also got some Big Ten awards from the defensive side to hand out. We'll get into all of that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Getting cold feet? Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your furnace fast. Call 1-800-COOLING.
'Tis the season to be hungry at Roosters. That's why for every $50 spent on Roosters gift cards, you'll receive a $10 Rooster Buck back in your stocking. May your holidays be filled with friends and family, love and laughter, and of course, Roosters Wings. Go to roosterswings.com today or drop by any Roosters location to purchase your $50 holiday gift cards and receive a $10 Rooster Buck in return. Happy holidays from all of us at Roosters. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota. Swing by Germain Toyota and ask for Marcello and discover unbeatable deals and a wide selection of new and certified pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Visit them at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road.
When you've thrown over 4,000 innings like I have, you know joint pain isn't a maybe, it's a guarantee. For you, was it climbing ladders or too much heavy lifting? Hey, we're all in the same boat. But surgery, that was never my answer.
Baseball legend Roger Clemens knows there's a better way. That's QC Kinetics regenerative treatments that help your body heal itself. No scalpels, no fake fixes, just real relief.
What I love about QC Kinetics, these are the most respected medical pros in the country that specialize in non-surgical therapies to get you moving again.
Don't mask the pain, fix it. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
I trusted QC Kinetics. You should too.
Call QC Kinetics today and schedule your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Holiday gifting is always a good deal better at Meijer. Get 20% off select Lego, Barbie and Disney princess dolls, and board and card games like Uno, Jenga, and Monopoly. Plus, spend $100 or more in-store December 3rd through the 9th, and you'll receive a $10 coupon at checkout. Redeem on gifts, groceries, holiday decor. It's up to you. Saving money on great gifts and walking away with a $10 coupon? That's the gift-giving good life at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
You can stream the game on your phone while you're gardening. You can stream it while you walk the dog. You can stream it at a trampoline park. You can even stream it at a monster truck rally. But the second you get behind the wheel, the game's over. Remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
Austin and Berm are back with a new daily podcast, the ultimate OSU Football Insiders. You know, it's refreshing to have some smart people working here from time to time.
The Beat with Austin and Berm on the 10 TV Plus app.
Subscribe today. It's almost Football Friday. All play and no work.
Sponsored by Tansky's Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football, The Fan. Drink recommendations, movie reviews, sports discussion, or whatever the hell Reeser does. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, did we get the, what did we find out? What would be the preferred path?
So I think for Ohio State, the preferred game, probably the Rose Bowl, Cotton Bowl, Orange Bowl, Sugar Bowl are the options. From the CFP, the 4 highest-ranked teams will be assigned to playoff quarterfinals hosted by bowls. This will be done in consideration of historic bowl relationships and seeding.
So it's Cotton, Rose, Sugar, Orange?
Yep.
No Fiesta?
Fiesta and Peach are the semis.
Okay. Okay. I think if you're Ohio State, then you would want Orange or Rose first, and you would want to feed into Fiesta.
Yeah.
Those are the biggest alumni bases. I want to say that outside of here, I think some of the biggest alumni bases are in South Florida. I think it's the Broward one. I got a ball cap with one of them on there that's pretty cool. But I would say that while the Bulls want to do all of the nonsense that they do of, win the Rose Bowl and all of that crap. Remember that? When you get the trophy and you're like, yeah, we got a game next week, dude. I don't care about this. Let's stop. Oh, we won the Rose Bowl. Nobody cares. We got another game. Like, your thing's over now, okay? So I think if I'm Ryan Day, give me the Orange Bowl and give me the Fiesta Bowl as the feeder into the national championship game. If I'm the 1 seed, that's what I would go for. I would not want to have to go to California and play in the Rose Bowl. I'd much rather play in the Orange Bowl and stay on Eastern time. Massive alumni base, easy for your fans to get there as opposed to Los Angeles, those who want to travel down there. From a value standpoint, it's a wash, right? Southern California, South Florida, both warm, easy place, fun to go to, much closer. If I'm Ohio State and I win this thing, I'm saying give me the path that gives me Orange feeding into Fiesta.
Now, would it change your mind if the Orange Bowl site is also going to be the national championship place?
I think that makes it even more because now I'm familiar, right?
I'm familiar with the spot.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the venue. I know the hotels. I know where I'm going to stay.
Can keep the routine.
Yeah, I think stay on East Coast time. And then the only reason I say Fiesta more than Peach, obviously we could all get down to Atlanta pretty easily, but if that is an SEC team in the semifinal, you wouldn't want to do it on their home turf necessarily. So that's probably why I would go Fiesta next, because that'll be Buckeyes. I mean, everybody in Ohio lives in Arizona too, it feels like. So.
Yeah, I was going to mention if chaos happens with the SEC championship and Georgia loses and they maybe drop down to 4 and you have Georgia on your side, you don't want to play them in the Peach, of course. That's right in their backyard.
No. And I think SEC champ, Georgia or Bama, I think the loser of the Ohio State-Indiana game is the 4, the winner's the 1, and then the 2 and the 3, if chalk holds, will be Texas Tech and the SEC title will be the 2 and the 3. If BYU beats Texas Tech, then I think it could get interesting. Like, is it something to where, like, does somehow Oregon get all the way up there to get a bye? Like, I think that could be interesting there. If BYU, they need that committee really needs Texas Tech to handle business, and they probably need. I don't know that the SEC thing matters much. They could easily just move Alabama all the way up. But I don't think you want to have a scenario where Ohio State and Indiana potentially would play in a national semifinal. I think you'd want those opposites. So I think it'll be 1 and 4. I could make an argument. I could see an argument where if Alabama wins the SEC title game, they don't let them go above 4. And they're kind of just stuck there. That could happen too. But I think you're going to get them split. I guess the split would be Indiana would go to the 3 line, wouldn't they? A loss would put them on the 3 line, would put the SEC champ on the 2-line if it's Georgia, 4-line if it's Bama. Does that make sense?
That's what I'd had it as.
Yeah.
Just because I do think that it's a little bump because I don't. And the loser of the Big Ten championship game either lost to the highest ranked team or the second highest ranked team in the country.
Yeah.
So I go with the SEC champ, it's Georgia or Bama. And they both have a regular season loss. So I do think they'll put the SEC champ too.
That would make sense if it's Georgia, especially. Georgia's the 2, Ohio State's the 1, the 3 is Indiana, the 4 is Texas Tech. If Texas Tech beats BYU. I think that's how they would go there. If Texas Tech doesn't, then it could lead to all sorts of things. But I think that's the path I would want. I would want to do the Orange Bowl and then the Fiesta Bowl. Those are my best chance for home field. It's my best chance for the least amount of travel. Acknowledging that I'd rather not play an SEC team I don't think Ohio State's scared of anything, but I think ideally you'd rather not have to go on the road essentially in a national semifinal, which is what they want to do. They're not going to do that thing, right, where they're making a big deal like if you win the Rose Bowl, they're done doing that, aren't they? Wasn't that one of the changes they made?
Oh, I don't know about that. I think the Bulls will still try to make a big deal of it.
Didn't they? I thought that there was something that they were going to try to get rid of that. That was the most awkward thing ever. Like coming out, like they beat Texas in the Cotton Bowl, and the Cotton Bowl guys out there trying to act like.
I remember the Rose Bowl guy in his giant red coat.
Yeah, trying to make a big deal.
Trying to make a
won the
huge
Rose
deal
Bowl.
of this. It's like,
dude, we got 2 more games.
No, sir.
What are you talking about? I don't care about this in any way. So I'll be curious to see how they manage all of that. We did have some Big Ten awards that were just dominated by Ohio State, as they should be on the defense. It's the best defense in the country. It's one of the best defenses statistically in the history of the sport. Caleb Downs cleaned up Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, Big Ten Defensive Back of the Year, first team All Big Ten, no kidding. Caden McDonald as well. He's the Big Ten Defensive Lineman of the Year. Linebacker Arvell Reese, the Big Ten Linebacker of the Year. All told, Ohio State with 6 first-team All-Big Ten defenders: Downs, McDonald, Reese, Stiles, Curry, and Igbinosun all make first-team All-Big Ten. Caleb Downs was he a consensus All-American as a freshman at Alabama?
Yeah, I think he can go for 3-time this year.
So he could get 3s. He could be there with 3s. That's an elite group. When you think about, and he's going to do it in 3 years, not 4.
It's insane.
What I think's cool about Downs getting Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year is that's an understanding of what he does for the defense. Because statistically, you don't see it. You don't see the sacks. You don't see the interceptions. You don't see the pick sixes. But that tells me that the people who vote on these type of things watch some tape. And they saw what he's capable of. Arvell would have had a very strong case for that as well, but I think it's really cool how they split that up. And I do think that Caleb Downs is the kind of the straw that stirs the drink for this defense. And so I think that's very cool. My hunch is that he's going to be a consensus first-team All-American. Reese is going to be a consensus first-team All-American. McDonald's going to be in the mix as well. But for sure, those 2 guys are going to be consensus first-team All-Americans.
I think the Chicago Tribune Silver Football is going to be announced Friday. I think you're getting offensive awards from the Big Ten later today, but I'd be curious to see where Downs lands on the Big Ten Player of the Year voting.
It's a good question because the quarterbacks could split it.
Yep.
Has a defensive player ever won it?
That's a really good question. Because we wondered at the beginning of the season, and I was trying to make a gimmick of this, that if you wanted to get Downs to New York City for the Heisman, then you would maybe have to give him some special teams or maybe a carry or 2 in like a red zone situation. They obviously didn't do that this season because that's kind of a silly thing if you're focusing on that one player to do it. But I can't remember the last time Chase Young would probably come to mind as being
Aiden Hutchinson.
Okay.
Won it in 2021. So that's the last one. Last Buckeye to win it was Justin Fields in 2020. You're right on Chase Young. He won it in 19. Dwayne Haskins in 18. Braxton Miller won it back-to-back and was trying to be, before he got hurt, he was on pace to be the only 3-time winner. He would have joined Drew Brees as a 3-time winner of it.
It's crazy to me that CJ never won it.
We didn't win the Big Ten.
Yeah, that's true. That's a true point.
It's Aiden, it's Corum, and then Marv won it in 2023, I guess. I misspoke. Marv won it in 2023, so there you go.
He's an alien.
Yeah, He was when he was here. By the way, you want to know, when you talk about like significance of award, you know who the first ever winner of the Silver Football Award was? Guy you've maybe heard of, Red Grange. So they've been doing that for a while. For
They call it the
1924.
Red Grange, Eddie George, Chicago Tribune Silver Football Award.
Holy cow.
They love those hyphens.
They do love that, yeah. All right, we'll open up the mailbag. Paul Finebaum coming up at 10:30. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Just when you thought afternoons couldn't get any dumber.
You fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you?
Common Man and Timmy.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Your home for dumb. The Fan.
I love Right Pack Credit Union because they're solution driven.
I feel valued as a member. They're focused on the latest technology and the personal connections.
Experience benefits that go beyond banking with Right Pack Credit Union. Just ask our actual members.
I definitely recommend Right Pack to all my family and friends as a credit union of choice.
Visit one of our Columbus area Right Pack Credit Union member centers near you. Based on individual members' experiences, results may vary.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, we've got a problem at Pella.
I like where this is going.
Because of Pella's reputation and quality, a lot of folks assume that we're out of budget.
Oh, that's too... Oh, I hate hearing.
But we've actually got 5 awesome window lines that fit any budget, from the $300,000 to the $3 million home, and far from the most expensive.
So you actually don't have a problem. Awesome.
Get the windows that Columbus homeowners rated the leading window brand at PellaColumbus.com.
This is the Duke's Country Song. It's a song about the best mayo. It has a yellow lid, and its full name is Duke's Mayonnaise. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
Got this. Breathe. Breathe. You got this. You got it.
In the moments that truly matter, what do? Rise to the occasion. Ohio Health. It's time.
It's the year-end sales event with the Ford crew.
It's sales event time, Sam.
Temperatures are dropping, but the deals are just getting hot.
Time for our annual Ford Holiday Gift Guide.
Oh, yeah.
Hard to go wrong with great deals on trucks and SUVs from Ford, America's all-time best-selling auto brand.
Don't forget the first rule of holiday gift giving, Hank.
What's that, Sam?
Always remember to treat yourself, too.
Well said.
Based on Automotive News Almanac historical data and industry-reported sales data from 1909 through 2024 CY.
This sports report is brought to you by Bet365. When it comes to sportsbooks, Bet365 has it all. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be located in Ohio.
Feeling stuck on your own 10-yard line in the career game? Maybe it's time to just go for IT. My Computer Career has the game plan to score a rewarding new IT career in months. Whether you're a rookie, a breakout career changer, or a military veteran ready to serve. Why spend years chasing a college degree when you can fast track your future in IT starting now? Take your mark, get set, go for IT. Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Hurry! It's our last chance to donate for 2025.
Planning to buy a home in 2026? Not sure where to start? The Ohio Housing Finance Agency can help. With a step-by-step homebuyer's guide and financial tools, the Ohio Housing Finance Agency can make homeownership part of your future. Eligible homebuyers may qualify for down payment assistance and reduced mortgage interest rates. To see if you qualify and to find a mortgage lender, visit myohiohome.org. Again, that's myohiohome.org. Homeownership. Make it part of your future. Sponsored by the Ohio Housing Finance Agency, aired by the Ohio Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
Picture it, your holiday table, the family cooking together, the scent of golden brown bread, rosemary from roasted potatoes, and a salad so crisp it snaps. This season at Kroger, make the moments that matter possible with quality that's affordable in every aisle. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
You can save big on 6-packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties or buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Limit 8. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Bobcat Enterprises says thank you for your support as they celebrate 50 years of serving the construction industry. Established in 1975 in Cincinnati, Bobcat Enterprises has expanded to 9 stores to meet you where you are in Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. Find equipment for any construction project, including compact track loaders and excavators. Plus, Bobcat Enterprises rents compact equipment and attachments. Find current specials and locations at bobcatent.com or follow Bobcat Enterprises Inc. on Facebook. Bobcat Enterprises, 50 years working for you.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Number 1 Ohio State's a 4-point favorite Saturday night in the Big Ten Championship. Buckeyes will play number 2 Indiana at Lucas Oil Stadium at 8 o'clock. It's been a busy week for Ohio State. Brian Hartline accepted the head coaching job at South Florida, but he'll stay on with OSU through the postseason. His departure had some effect on Ohio State's 6th-ranked recruiting class in 2026. The Buckeyes signed 25 commits on Wednesday, but are still waiting on the letter of intent from the top receiver in the class, Chris Henry Jr. Hear more from OSU's head coach today at noon on the Ryan Day radio show. On the ice tonight at Nationwide, the Blue Jackets host the Red Wings at 7:30 this morning. Head coach Dean Evison told T-Bone and Scotty Vegas that Kirill Marchenko will be back on the ice for the CBJ. You can hear that game on the Fan with coverage at 7. This update is sponsored by Roosters. For every $50 you spend in Roosters gift cards this holiday season, you'll receive a $10 Roosters bonus buck. Available at Roosters locations or online at roosterswings.com.
Our top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, second hour here on a Thursday edition of the program. Paul Finebaum coming up in 28 minutes from now. Look forward to his tales on the Lane Kiffin saga over the weekend. But we kick it off with opening up that mailbag. Hit it, fellas.
Our comment box is always open. Any feedback is mostly appreciated.
The mail never stops. It just keeps coming and coming and coming. There's never a let up. It's relentless. Every day it piles up more and more and more. And you got to get it up. And the more you get out, the more it keeps coming in. Again.
Bishop and Friends present Emails.
Sponsored by Nationwide Children's Hospital. Donate today to light up the lawn and light up the life.
Reese, we've always had MIT kids. They've done a great job for us. However, they have yet to get the email situation fixed. So in terms of people soliciting the email through the website, which they do at wide swaths, and we have the full access to that. For whatever reason, the last couple of weeks, I haven't had access to that. So the emails that I'm getting are the folks who are emailing me directly at the station email. So those are the emails I'm getting. I'm not seeing the ones that are being solicited through the website. So I'm thinking we need to fire the MIT kids and replace them with Caltech kids and see if those kids can be a little better. Or like maybe one of those guys. What's the big university in Switzerland?
Sure.
The CERN or whatever that is.
I just wonder, if we want to be doing that before the holidays, man. That's
true.
Seems kind of cruel.
I don't want to do. I do have a heart.
We'll try back again. We'll circle back on this at the beginning of the year. I'm sure so many people out there listening have heard that phrase uttered in the last week.
All right. There's still a great many of you who email directly, and those are the ones that are showing up. So I'm seeing all of those. Let's start with this one from Ty, who the subject matter is
Do you not say the subject? Or did we? You insulted the MIT kids and then a disappearance. See what happens? Already, people trying to take PTO. You take one shot at our IT department, and you're gone. Anything back there, Reimer?
Things just look froze right now.
It's one thing to do it in a regular segment, but because this is
opportunity to impress this weekend.
All right,
Did we glitch?
This is going to be awkward. I heard none of what you just said.
Yeah, we glitched.
We absolutely glitched. You insulted the MIT kids and then disappeared.
It was everywhere. It was on the YouTube live stream. I think
everything.
Our teams froze up, too.
You Thanos vaporized yourself.
All right. Tell me did we get the email in or no?
No.
All right. Let's start back there.
All right.
Tyler, the subject is Diego Pavia. He writes, I see the full SEC media train is behind Diego Pavia. He's everywhere. All the podcasts. Theo Vaughn appears to be his handler. He's going to win the Heisman, isn't he? Please talk me off the ledge. How doesn't Diego Pavia win the Heisman? Well, here's the thing you got. And Reese is a voter. I'm a voter. And having been a voter as long as I have, and I want to say this goes back to like maybe 2008. I've been a voter since then. The last chance to impress carries a lot of weight. And in terms of guys still in the mix, obviously you have the two quarterbacks in the Big Ten championship game. I still think Jeremiah's got an outside shot at it. And you're going to have that SEC title game. Like if Ty Simpson goes nuts and they beat Georgia again and it's on his arm, does that supersede what Pavia's done at Vanderbilt with the fact that he hasn't played in a week? I do think he's going to be invited. I don't think that it's a foregone conclusion that he wins, though, because I think you're kind of underestimating the power of that last weekend.
Especially the scenario you just laid out, because Southern voters are going to probably throw a lot of weight at a candidate. And Diego Pavia is getting a lot of love now, and I think the odds, the betting odds favor Pavia as the representative from the Southeastern Conference. But if that scenario that you laid out where Ty Simpson wills Alabama to an SEC championship win, then yeah, he'll take it over Diego. Because the biggest thing about this year, I think, will be the regionality of it all. And how some voters, like Dante Moore is going to get love from the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
The linebacker from Texas Tech, Rodriguez, is going to get love from the Southwest. You're going to get a quarterback or a player out of the South. And kind of in our footprint, Jeremiah Love is going to get a lot of love. So it's all going to be...
No pun intended there.
There was not. No, I'm not that quick on my feet. There's going to be a lot predicated on what happens in closing arguments this weekend that Jeremiah Love won't get to have, Diego Pavia won't get to have, Dante Moore won't get to have. Mendoza, Sayin, Simpson, yes.
So Simpson, statistically, guys, I just pulled it. I was just curious, like, has he done enough to where if he has a big moment Saturday, can he go above and beyond? He's 3,000 yards passing, so he's right there with, like, Mendoza and Sayin. They're all right around there. Pavi is right in that mix, too. 66% completions, 25 touchdowns, 4 picks. So that's kind of where he is in terms of the, that part of it. The other thing that you always look, well, how did he play in the biggest games? He was pretty good against Georgia, at Georgia, in a game they won 24-21. He's 24-38, 276, 2 touchdowns, no picks. They went in the game against Pavia, which Alabama won 30-14. He went 23 of 31 for 340 and 2 touchdowns in that game. I wonder what Pavia did in that game. He was 21 of 35, 198, a touchdown and a pick. So not a lot. Is the short answer of that. But I think that this final argument that's going to happen in Indy and it's going to happen in Atlanta, I think they're going to carry some weight for a lot of voters. They typically do. This one from Brian, the subject matter says, update. A couple of weeks ago, I emailed if Georgia is in the best spot in regards to the playoff. Well, now Georgia is in the SEC title game. So now who's in the best spot in regard to the playoff? So I think I remember this email, and we agreed with him that Georgia was in the best spot. That was under the belief that they were going to have to play in the SEC title game. Weren't going to have to, and they were sitting there at the 5, and they're going to get to play the 12 or the 11. I think where I'm at now with this is that the team's in the best spot other than Ohio State, because if Ohio State wins and you're not playing again until New Year's Day, and that's better than having to play even a group of 5 or having to play the lame duck winner of the ACC. I think the teams that I'm staring at, I'm looking at Oregon. It feels to me like Oregon's kind of locked into the 5 slot is kind of how I feel about it. So if they're in the 5 spot, let me pull this up. You're thinking if you're Oregon, you're in the 5 spot, you're getting Tulane, or you're getting North Texas, or maybe even James Madison at your place. That's a spot I'd like to be. And then if you win that game, you might be playing Texas Tech in a quarterfinal. That's one where you're going to have more talent than them. So I think Oregon, I think that 5 spot's where you want to be. Don't sleep on 6. If Ole Miss stays at 6, that's a nice spot too.
I also think for Oregon, they've had injuries to their wide receiver core. You're not playing this weekend. You're not playing next weekend. If you're playing in the first round of the playoff, you can put some of those guys like DeCorian Moore on pitch counts if it's a lesser opponent. Like if you've got the group of 5, you probably don't need them to win that game. But in a quarterfinal or in a semifinal, you absolutely need them. So you've given yourself some time to get right health-wise.
it's not going to happen, but say chaos happens and Texas Tech loses.
I hope chaos does happen.
But it's not going to happen because they don't have their head coach in Lane Kiffin, but Ole Miss's resume is better than Oregon's. So, like, if Texas Tech loses, do they make a real case at being that 4 seed? But they don't have their head coach. It's just why I don't think they would get that.
I'm curious. That's a good point. I'm very curious what would happen with exactly what you just said, because Oregon did keep Ole Miss. Weiss is coaching the offense. So they don't have Kiffin, but they do have a play caller that they're familiar with. The other thing I don't know what they're going to do with is Texas A&M, who's been 3 the whole time, and then they just dropped them 4 spots with a loss at Texas, which seemed really overly punitive for them. I understand that they didn't play the schedule that necessarily Ole Miss did, but I think that's probably a fascinating thing too. The BYU winning the Big 12 is a monkey wrench that they want to avoid at all cost. If that happens, then I see no scenario where Notre Dame or Miami get in at that point. I think
that would knock the Irish out.
That would knock them. Yeah, and I think obviously Miami would be out too. I think both would be out if BYU beats Texas Tech. So I think Texas Tech is absolutely in. We'll continue with the mailbag. Got one on National Signing Day, one on Brett McMurphy and his reporting and the lack of the validity of it. We'll have some fun with all of that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville, or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
Bank of America is the nation's leading business lender, and we're ready to help with your next goal here in Columbus. That's why we have over 3,700 local business specialists across the country. Because with the right team, your business and community prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Would you enjoy watching a football game if the officials were paid a bonus for every flag they threw? Or a basketball game where the refs got paid for every foul they called? Okay, how about hiring a furnace and AC company that pays its technicians by the number of parts they can sell you? Hi, this is Dennis, president of Care Heating and Cooling, and today, this is how many companies operate. They call it performance pay, and it rewards technicians by paying them more for billing you more. Why is this bad? Because it abuses your trust in a technician to be treated fairly and honestly. At Care, we've been family-owned for 31 years and have always paid our technicians by the hour for repairs. We'll show you exactly what needs to be fixed and why, and give you our low upfront cost before we start. And unlike other companies, our technicians will never be rewarded for throwing more flags. Our Central Ohio-based staff is here for you 7 days a week. Care Heating and Cooling. Book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com or call us at 1-800-COOLING. When you need a company you can trust.
Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota. Swing by Germain Toyota and ask for Marcello and discover unbeatable deals and a wide selection of new and certified pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Visit them at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road.
Make your list, check it twice, and shop smart this holiday season. Open a Visa at Kemba Financial Credit Union and add some jingle to your wallet with $150 cash back after your first $1,500 spent within 90 days. Apply at Kemba.org. Restrictions apply. Offer ends 12/31/25.
Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
Hi, this is Max with Buckeye Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. We want to wish the community, our clients, and our team a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. We're incredibly thankful to serve such a great community with such an amazing team. It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you for being you. And when you need us,
call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
Hello,
it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fraud in government is a crime, and it robs taxpayer dollars. I'm Ohio Auditor of State Keith Faber, and my job is to catch people that lie, cheat, and steal, report suspicious behavior, and help stop fraud. Learn the red flags, speak up, and protect your tax dollars by calling 1-866-FRAUD-OH.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state. The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at onnradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network. Ryan Day has a radio show, and we air it. What are the odds? Join us Thursday at noon for the cleverly named Ryan Day Show.
Presented by Roosters, a fun casual joint.
Every game, every season, your home for Buckeye football, The Fan. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Be careful for a few slick spots as flurries push through the region this morning. After that, skies should clear, but temperatures don't warm. We'll stay in the upper 20s to near 30 before temperatures fall this evening. 10 TV weather impact alert day in place as we head into early Friday with temperatures that could drop down to the single digits by Friday morning. Clear skies through the rest of the day Friday, high near 30. That's your latest 10 weather impact.